LeBron James all the way in.
And here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that.
Certainly the length altered that shot. Out of the quick steps and crunches.
Play right there. Porzingis from Jennings. Throw down and a foul.
Irving, splits the defense with the dribble.
All right, we got to talk about it. It's been a real big discussion lately about how far he's gone over the line. We'll talk about it here, and that is Lavar Ball commenting on Luke Walton. So this is, they may not want to hear it. They may not want to hear that, but it's going to be successful if you listen to what I'm saying on That's a Fact, that I know what it takes for my son to run like this. This is Lavar Ball and request to tone down his criticism of Lakers coach Luke Walton. What are we feeling about this kind of now blowing up a lot more?
I mean, it's interesting. And just like if you guys don't know, LeVar Ball came out and said that the Lakers' young players and players in general don't want to play for Luke Walton. That's why they're losing. They should fire Luke Walton. That's essentially what he said in a nutshell. If you guys have watched our other LeVar Ball videos, you guys know that we both think he's, as far as just being a mogul is concerned, and some of the decisions, albeit controversial, usually they're very I think they're well thought out.
Yeah.
Calculated moves, and excuse the computer getting very loud. They're smart moves as far as his brand is concerned and his family's brand is concerned. This move, however, I'm going to go on the other side of it. I think this is a really poor choice by LeVar Ball, because not only does it make him kind of look a little bit bad, it definitely makes him look bad. Not a little bit bad. It makes him look bad. But it makes Lonzo Ball look bad, which I think as far as becoming a mogul is concerned, LeVar Ball's biggest concern right now, it all rides on Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
You know? There's no, just from seeing some of the stuff we've seen from Lithuania so far, he doesn't have a lot to count on from his other two sons. So Lonzo's his guy. So making Lonzo look like the best possible person, making him look like a superstar, that should be his biggest concern. So coming out and dissing his coach, who's well-liked in the NBA by a lot of people, a lot of people respect what Luke Walton's done as a coach so far. Mind you, he's coaching one of the worst record teams in the league, but he's not working with very much. And if you consider where the Lakers are at, right, they have a lot of reasons to be bad. A lot of their players know they're going to get traded. Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson in particular. Brook Lopez is old. A lot of their guys are just either first year in the league or second year in the league. And there's this giant shadow of LeBron James, looming over the city of Los Angeles. Some of the guys probably don't necessarily think they're going to be on the team next season because they think LeBron is coming to play in L.A. And if that's the case, you can probably assume Dwayne Wade's coming to L.A. to play too, So with that being said, they have a lot of reasons to be bad. And the fact that they're still as competitive as they are goes to show how good of a job I think Luke Walton is doing with a very young team. And all the other coaches and a lot of players in the league know that. So when LeVar Ball comes out and makes this comment, which on the surface he might not be saying something that's so far off just from he's coaching one of probably the second worst record in the league team.
Yeah.
Of course you should fire him. He's doing an awful job. But that's really not the whole story. It's very surface value. So I think LeVar Ball didn't think this one out. That's just my opinion, though. What do you think?
Yeah, so with the LeVar Ball thing, the thing I get kind of upset about is that he's done everything right up until this point.
Yep.
He's done things very well. He's started the JBLE, the Junior Ballers League, which is a very good idea. And I think, I've made a video about it, I think it's probably a way for the G League to kind of maybe buy out the JBL and kind of create it so that they can get high schoolers, because right now they're not allowed to get high schoolers. But this move right here, I think, was a lot more. It just seemed to kind of look bad on Lonzo's part. This is the first time that we're going to actually be looking at Lonzo Ball and not LeVar Ball. Because what this move tells me is that Lonzo, or someone close to Lonzo, his posse, his group, is telling us that Luke Walton is a terrible coach and he doesn't know how to coach young players.
Yeah.
And they don't respect him as a coach, so they're going to talk bad about him. And of course, Lavar being a very protective dad, a dad that wants everything best for his son, he's going to make these comments. And it's just, I just think it's so stupid. I mean, if you feel this way about a coach, whether you're a player, whether you're another assistant coach, I feel like you need to talk to that coach and like actually figure out like what we can do to kind of better the situation, because right now they're not playing very well. They've had games where they should have won, but they've lost.
Yeah.
And it's been a tough schedule, and it's been really kind of a negative energy about them, only because, you know, it's close games. They should win, but they're just not winning.
Yeah.
But, man, LeVar Ball, man, you just got to let your son, especially because he is a Laker and it's the NBA, and you cannot get bigger than the NBA. You have to kind of play by the NBA game with Lonzo, but with, you know, your other sons, LiAngelo and LaMelo, it's a different story. You play by your rules.
Yeah. Well, it's just dooming Lonzo Ball in the future, right? And I think before I get into what the point I was just about to make, I think the sad part is I honestly don't think this has anything to do with Lonzo. Like, I don't think he was making comments to his dad. That's just my opinion on the matter. I really think this was just LeVar looking at the record of the team and looking at the way he hyped up the team and his son and saying, oh, I need to cover for myself somehow, right?
Yeah.
And let's make the coach look bad instead of myself by saying, oh, we were going to win 35 games or 50 games and make the playoffs. Oh, it must be the coach's fault they're losing. They're too talented not to win. But really, everyone thought they were going to be bad. You know, they're as bad as everyone kind of thought they were going to be. So, it, like you said, like it puts all this focus on Lonzo Ball that doesn't necessarily need to be there. And it dooms him in the future, because if Lonzo Ball never amounts to be a star in the league, if he's just kind of like a journeyman point guard, or if he's just a middle-of-the-road decent point guard, teams aren't going to want to take the risk of putting Lonzo Ball on the team. Like, why would they want to risk it with his dad making comments about, you know, everyone under the sun? Like, it just, like, it puts even more pressure on the shoulders of Lonzo Ball that doesn't need to be there. Because now he really does need to perform at a star level to be thought of as a valuable player in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, this just kind of goes to show that, like, the Lakers, I don't think it was I don't want to say it's a mistake picking Lonzo at number 2, but I definitely think that of course, like, it was expected that Lonzo's dad was going to be a very big influential part in his life, and he's going to probably be there around the team, but I don't think they expected it to be kind of where it is today.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they enjoy Lonzo, and like I think he does make a difference in that culture. As we saw, as he got injured, they were playing really bad without him.
Yeah, they played awful without him.
Then when he came back, they actually won a game.
Yeah.
So it just kind of puts them in a negative light. It's like almost kind of the situation where any NFL player or any NBA player with baggage goes. It's like if your baggage outweighs your talent and ability to play the game for that team, they won't take you. And I think the Lakers, if he's very inconsistent like he is this year right now, then I just don't expect him to be on the Lakers for very long.
Yeah, he just needs to have really, really steady improvement and continue to get better and better. But I really I think he's going to be great in the NBA, honestly. Because I see some flashes of brilliance, and then, like, I think, like you said, like, they were so bad without him, and then he came back, and they instantly won a game, and they looked like a much better team.
Yeah.
But he plays on the court like he's very team player oriented, you know, which I think is super important for a team where you have a guy like Kuzma, who's very score first, even though he can play defense. And then you have Brandon Ingram, score first player. Like, you got a player like Lonzo Ball who's not necessarily out there to score points, which is a great start, you know, for his career. He's not like a selfish player. So make sure that, you know, he stays that way. And I think, you know, when we were talking about this earlier, and let's get into it now, the new rule the Lakers are going to enforce, right?
Right.
You want to let them know about that?
So I guess this is according to ESPN, but there's going to be some rules in place for the Lakers, is that they're going to kind of ban, like, they're going to start taking away like the press's badges from the Lakers locker room area where they usually get in if they kind of run a piece or do any story with LaVar Ball.
Yeah.
Which to me is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of stupid. Because, I mean, I understand what the Lakers are trying to do. They're trying to kind of avoid a situation where you kind of let LaVar's mouth kind of run how your team operates and kind of have people question your ability to kind of manage the team and coach the team. When you have people like LaVar, who a lot of people now take his words to heart in terms of they think that he's kind of like an influensive voice. And they're just trying to kind of shut that power or shut that part of the media off so that way they don't have to deal with it. But at the same time, I think, like we've talked about before in a previous episode where it's like they're not allowed to talk to family members anymore.
Yeah.
That it kind of, that's why the Lakers are relevant this season. Because other than that, like, are we really talking about the Lakers?
No. If Lonzo Ball's just another rookie, we're not talking about the Lakers. But he's not just another rookie. He's Lonzo Ball, you know? The next question I guess I would have is, like, have they said if it's just, like, in general, if you publish an article that has a Lonzo Ball quote or some interview with Lonzo Ball, you lose your credentials, or is it just at the Lakers facility?
I think just at the Lakers facility. I think that's what the story is.
If that's the case, I think it's a good idea. Like, just why not? Like he's doing a lot of harm to the brand of the Lakers in some aspects, but he is also making them very relevant, even though they're bad. So he's important to keep around in the sense that you want articles with LaVar Ball talking about the Lakers to keep coming out, but you don't necessarily want him distracting people right in front of the Lakers facilities. So I think it's a little harsh to just remove the press credentials for some of these people, because it is a big story. Anything he has to say is a big story. But, like, the publishing the quote of him talking about Luke Walton, I think, is just, like, I don't know. It kind of bummed me out. Because, like, then they had, like, Rick Carlisle came out. Did you see that? He's the head of the Coach Association. And he's, like, he was disparaging not only LaVar Ball, but ESPN for publishing that article in the first place, which I think was a little harsh the way he said it. But I do think that in some aspects, like the article and like the quote that came out, it's just like, it's just a guy talking. Like he didn't even make a valid point about why they should fire Luke Walton. He's just talking. So they're posting it just to make an issue where there isn't one, you know? Because they know that, LaVar Ball says this guy should be fired. Of course this is going to be a big story. Does this hurt any of the players involved or the Lakers organization as a whole? I mean, yeah, of course it's going to hurt it. So did they need to publish it? No, but it's a big story. So I can see why they did it and why they're going to continue to do it for as long as they can.
Yeah, so here's the quote real quick. So this is from Sam Amico. He's a founder and senior writer for AmicoHoops.net, and he used to be a former Fox Sports journalist for the NBA Talk. So he said several NBA coaches plan to ask the media relations staff to revoke credentials of basketball writers who interview LaVar Ball. League source tells Amico Hoops Ball was critical of the Lakers coach. So it's not just going to be, I have to correct myself, it's not just going to be the Lakers themselves, but just like other the media. Media from other teams as well talking about it. And it just kind of sucks to me because I think LaVar Ball is a very good mogul, but sometimes what he can say really affects how people perceive him and his son.
Yeah.
Which puts them in a negative light, and it makes them not want to work with the Ball family.
Yeah. Which,
like, I think I've said this before. I don't think Lonzo Ball is going to be a superstar in terms of, scoring 26 points a game with, like, he's not going to be a Russell Westbrook or any type of player like that where it's, like, high points, high assists, high rebounds. He'll most likely be what I've been saying, like a Jason Kidd-like player.
I'm starting to think in the vein of like
Rondo,
like Tony Parker. I feel like Tony Parker's a little too good for him, honestly. But in some aspects, like think of Tony Parker's more like average seasons where he's just like he's very instrumental to the success of the team, and he kind of like the team runs through him. but he's not necessarily the most important player on the team.
Yeah, I think
at any point.
I think I'm going to probably move more from Jason Kidd more to Rajon Rondo in terms of with a jump shot. Because Rondo in his prime, when he was with the Celtics, he was averaging a lot of assists and a lot of rebounds because he was just that dude. He was so long. He was able to get, but he wasn't a very good scorer like I think Lonzo can be. But it just kind of sucks to me because like he's obviously not going to be the number one option on the team.
And never. I don't think ever.
I don't think he'll ever be the number one option, but he definitely does make teammates around him better. Mm-hmm. So if he's able to go to a team, whether it's the Lakers in the future, if they do it, or if he goes to another team, I think that he has the chance to become at least, a 1 or 2 time champion in his career.
Depends on the team he gets surrounded by, but yeah, certainly I could see it.
But it just kind of sucks to me because this kind of puts a damper on people. Because, a lot of people, even though LeVar Ball was wrong in some situations, people still rooted for him. Yeah. This kind of halts that momentum a little bit because everyone is telling him that that's kind of like messed up for what he's saying. Yeah. Even though, he could have been taken out of context or, we got to really look at the context of the article before we judge anybody. But it just sucks because now it feels like everyone's against him now rather than everybody is like half. Some people are with him, some people are not with him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some of his moves are like so smart. Like the JBL was the big thing before this. And a lot of people thought that was a great idea. I mean, you had, big video for us and you were, praising it. And I agree with you. I think it is a great idea. So for him to come out so quickly and make a bad move after that, it's just like it's a bummer, you know? Like he just needs, I think the big thing for LeVar Ball, and this would be my opinion obviously, is that he needs to focus on his other things outside of the NBA. And if he's going to talk about the NBA or the Lakers, I think he should only talk about Lonzo Ball. Yeah. And, whether or not he's pleased with the team's success could be completely related to how Lonzo's playing or not. It's just, I think he should monitor the way he gives his opinion out on the matter, and obviously. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we've seen some photos of the Balls brothers practice in Lithuania, which has not been looking good. I mean, obviously, I think it was a drill where it's like you can't pass the ball, where you don't have no pass, but you have to go full court 5-on-5. But it just looked so slow. It looked worse than a YMCA pickup game. Like, I don't care if it was a drill. If it's a drill with a professional team, it has to be done in a professional way. Yeah. It can't be looking like a 1A high school practice first day.
That's poor. That's real poor.
And I understand that they don't practice every day like the whole team does because, they actually have jobs to do. They don't get paid from playing basketball like we do here. Mm-hmm. So, LeVar, like we love your ideas and we think that you're going to be one of the probably best moguls out there, especially with the JBL league. But, let's slow it down a little bit.
Keep your head on straight, LeVar. This is our message to you. Head on straight.
Head on straight. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Are you going to be the next coach of the Lakers, LeVar Ball? I don't think so. So maybe just don't even,
I mean, you did said you think the Lakers should hire him.
I said they should hire him at one point. I'm starting to reconsider my opinion, obviously. But think of the fact that if LeVar Ball was on their payroll, right, he's not coming out and making a comment about Luke Walton like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay him, just like as
my
Laker
point.
ambassador.
That's my point. You're not getting these negative stories coming out of the Lakers camp from LeVar Ball. So, in some aspects, if they had just hired him, this would never happen.
Yeah.
Don't hire him, though. I mean, I was in jest partially, but at the same time, like, at the time, I thought it would have been a good idea. Maybe not.
Yeah. We're just going to have to be, we're just going to have to be very mindful of what he says now, and he's going to have to kind of make sure he doesn't come off across as this is my son complaining to me, so I'm going to complain for him. Yeah. Because that's what it feels like to me.
We don't need that.
So, Lonzo, if this is true, make sure you handle this in-house and you talk about it in-house, but make sure you don't have anyone in your family talk about you and make it seem like you have spun it in a negative light.
Agreed. We ready to move on, Bernie?
All right, let's move on.
Move on.